From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeaux, and this is your News 8 Daily for Friday, August 23rd. A cool start again for the day, but we are going to warm up. Today, humidity levels, they'll stay very nice. It's going to be more sunshine, light winds, low to mid 80s, but get ready for a warm up. This weekend is going to be hot. The focus in the race for the White House is now November. Kamala Harris has formally accepted her party's nomination for president. Harris delivered the final speech of the Democratic National Convention, outlining policy proposals and sharing her own story. Julia Benbrook shows us key moments from Chicago.
It was a star-studded night in Chicago.
What about trust?
All leading up to Vice President Kamala Harris accepting her party's nomination for president.
America, the path that led me here in recent weeks was no doubt unexpected. But I'm no stranger to unlikely journeys.
During her speech, Harris shared her story and record with Americans.
We know a strong middle class has always been critical to America's success, and building that middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
And contrasted her vision with former President Donald Trump's.
In many ways, Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious.
A theme speakers have hammered home all week.
Don't count the lies. Count the eyes.
We see a mountain in front of us. We don't expect there to be an escalator waiting to take us to the top.
Democrats now hoping to turn the momentum they felt this week into a movement that propels Harris into the Oval Office. Reporting in Chicago, I'm Julia Benbrook.
The Marion County prosecutor says more charges could be coming for the IMPD sergeant caught with child pornography. Prosecutor Ryan Mears says police plan to do a deep dive into the phone and laptop belonging to Sergeant Javed Richards. Investigators have only done a preliminary review so far. Police say Richards was caught sharing child porn from his home. Mears tells ITMate that Richards was using encrypted emails, apps, and a VPN to disguise himself on the internet. He says police got a break in the case when Richards' phone connected to his Wi-Fi at home.
If he hadn't gotten kicked off of the VPN for whatever reason and was on his home Wi-Fi, would we be sitting here right now?
It's very unlikely. It's incredibly unlikely. And I think that points to the challenges that people in law enforcement deal with every day in trying to build these cases.
Richards was in court for the first time yesterday. Court records show he paid his $4,000 bail, but we're told he won't be released from the Marion County Jail until he surrenders his guns and passport. The mayor of Indianapolis and some other city officials could soon get a pay raise. There's a proposal going before the City County Council next week. In it, the mayor's salary would increase from $95,000 to $125,000. If it's approved, it would be the first pay raise for the mayor's office since 2002. The salaries for the assessor, auditor, coroner, recorder, surveyor, and treasurer would also go up to $92,000. The proposal will go before the council's Administration and Finance Committee on Tuesday. New scaffolding around the Indiana State House signals the start of Phase 4 in the last of a series of repairs and renovations to the building. Crews are working on gutters, scouring windows, cleaning the dome, repairing masonry, and patching the roof. The 4 phases started in 2018 with an overall cost of $12.5 million. Earlier work included fixing the limestone facade, rebuilding stairways and doors, and more. August is on track to become the worst month for pedestrian safety in Indianapolis in the last 2 years. That's according to Eric Holt, the founder of Indy Pedestrian Safety Crisis. He says 76 people have been hit by vehicles so far this month, and 7 of them have died. Hit and runs are an issue too. 6 juveniles have been the victim of that crime already this year. Holt says there are ways the city could fix this.
Things like, narrowing our lanes, possibly even removing a lane from a road that has too many lanes for the amount of traffic that is there. Things like bumping out the crosswalks, pulling back where vehicles can park near the crosswalk to what's called daylight them to make people that are crossing more visible.
The city is joining the nationwide movement Vision Zero. That's a goal to reduce traffic deaths to 0 by 2035. The latest version of the COVID-19 vaccine could be available in a matter of days. The FDA approved it yesterday and says Pfizer and Moderna can start shipping out millions of doses. The new vaccines are arriving earlier than last year to help combat a summer wave of the virus. The CDC recommends everyone 6 months and older get the shot. And doctors across the state are saying there's growing concern as fewer children receive their routine childhood vaccinations. The latest data from the Indiana Department of Health shows immunization rates for kids in the state are down from 70% in 2020 to 58% in 2023. Dr. Shannon Dillon is a pediatrician at Riley Children's Health and spoke to us about the issue this morning on Daybreak.
It's very concerning, especially since the trend shows that the numbers are continuing to go in the wrong direction rather than improving, even as we get further away from the pandemic.
Why is it so important for kids to get these routine vaccinations?
Yeah, I think it's something a lot of us don't think about because many of us haven't seen these diseases because we've had the vaccines for so long. But these are serious diseases that have serious consequences in other parts of the world where people aren't as routinely vaccinated. And if we don't maintain a high enough level of vaccination in the population, then it's really easy for them to start to get a foothold and spread in our communities again, like we saw with measles starting to have an outbreak earlier this year.
In Colts Watch, time for final cuts after a win to close out the preseason. The Colts starters played most of their first half against the Cincinnati Bengals. Quarterback Anthony Richardson started hot with a touchdown pass to rookie Adonai Mitchell on the first series. Then Richardson struggled, throwing an interception and fumbling. Coach Shane Steichen did not sound too worried after the game.
It was great to see. You saw the explosiveness that he had on the first drive, made some really good throws. I think he was 7-8 on that first drive. So it was great to get him out there.
Final cuts have to happen by Tuesday. Then the Colts open their regular season in just more than 2 weeks, September 8th, against the Texans at Lucas Oil Stadium. High school football kicks off tonight for the first time this season, but there's a battle off the field for the Wish TV Zone banner. Here's Anthony Calhoun with more.
The battle is on for the best student section in Central Indiana.
The winner of the 2023 Zone banner is Chatard High School.
Before I say anything, I want to thank our student section who won the banner this year. Best student section in the state.
Which school is going to win the undisputed Top Spirit Award, the Zone Championship banner?
We won the banner!
If you want in the game, you better come ready. It's the Spirit Award everybody in Central Indiana wants.
So if you want the Spirit banner, please stand up. What? Please stand up. Please stand up. We want the banner.
We want the banner. We want the banner. Entire schools and communities coming together to win the coveted banner. Here are 3 ways your school can win and have the Zone banner hanging in your gym. Number 1, great school spirit. Number 2, show us how much you love the Zone. And number 3, lead the way on social media across the state, promoting your school and the Zone. So who's taking the Zone banner in 2024? We'll find out in November.
We'll have the highlights of tonight's top games on the Zone at 11:08. That includes our game of the week, Lawrence North versus Lawrence Central. We will have highlights of 22 games tonight in the Zone. Some families in the NICU at Peyton Manning's Children's Hospital now have personal memories with Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark. She and an assistant coach stopped by the hospital. Clark signed basketballs, taught skills to siblings of newborns, and helped one family celebrate as they prepared to head home after 40 days in the NICU. Clark and her coach also met with doctors to learn how they can take care of premature babies. Happening today, IU Indianapolis says more than 175 of its student athletes and coaches will help make downtown more beautiful. It's called the Jag Jump Community Cleanup. Organizers say volunteers will pick up litter, put down mulch, and pull up weeds along the canal from 10th Street to Michigan Street. Cleanup runs for 2 hours starting at 3 this afternoon. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.